Hey guys, we're here at Pro Level Fitness in Miami, another Saturday workout. So what that means, yes, we're hitting legs again. We're gonna be doing week 2 of our YT3 training, which means we're gonna do a little bit higher rep. So today we're gonna increase the rep range of everything. I'm gonna put you through a full workout so you guys get to see all the reps, sets, weights. This is the second week in our off season. Feeling great. Food has been increased a little bit. We're still sticking with that cardio, but we're gonna start increasing the intensity as we go from week to week. But we're 2 weeks in, feeling great. The weight is definitely up. So at about 210 pounds waking up in the morning, the morning of, my weight was all the way down at 191. So that's the lowest I've been in a very, very long time, but obviously the water was depleted and so forth. But obviously the weight is rebounded. And when I go to bed, I'm actually closer to 220. Definitely have increased there while keeping the body fat down. There's a lot more water, obviously, retention there. We're trying to get that lean tissue put on the physique. The entire physique we're trying to improve, but legs is one of those areas that is a strong point for me, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be putting the same intensity. I need to bring up my entire physique. We have a lot of stuff to meet our weight cap. So we're gonna put you through another intense leg workout. As I mentioned, higher rep, and we're gonna hit quads and hamstrings. So stay tuned for the entire workout. Please subscribe and follow along. Let's go. All right, we're gonna first start with the hack squat. This is my first exercise. We're going in completely cold, so we're not gonna use any weight. And it's very important, I think. A lot of people just jump right into exercises, throw weight on there. Going in cold basically in the morning is not good to add additional weight. Get through that range of motion. We're going all the way down, all of our reps. We control all the reps, but as we get to our working sets, nothing changes, okay? Obviously, we're just using more weight and we're using maximum intensity. One of the things that I find, especially when you start to increase rep range, is that people increase the speed in which they do their reps. That's a no-no. Basically, by increasing the amount of repetitions, that's something that you need to also factor in to increase your intensity. But also your time under tension is gonna be longer because you're doing more repetitions. You're not just gonna do the reps faster to get them over with. Find a lot of people when they start doing higher rep, they start to increase the speed in which they're doing things. They're making it easier. The idea when weight training is to make things harder. And I think that what you see is then people start using a lot more weight. And then where they have issues is that the transferring of weight. So say we're doing the bench press or in the squat. At the bottom, if I control it, the muscle is contracted, it's working. But if I bring it down very quickly and try to revert back up, that's where the injury is gonna happen. So you see it happen all the time. People they add more weight, but they add speed in which they do those reps. It's just counterintuitive. You're not gonna get much out of it, and you're gonna increase the ability to hurt yourself. So I'm gonna add some weight, as I mentioned in other videos, small increases. Yes, I could do a 45 right now, but there's no reason to rush into it. It's about 9 in the morning. Yeah, we've gone for a walk. We've had one meal. Body's not primed to be lifting heavy weights. So there's no reason for us to add heavy weights. Neil, my coach, Neil Hill, he always prescribes on the first exercise to do 4 warm-up sets. So what I do is I try to do a set of 15, a set of 12, a set of 10, and a set of 8. Progressively getting heavier with each set, obviously using a little bit more weight. The reason that I decrease the amount of repetitions is that I do not want to have my working sets tax my overall central nervous system. The idea is to feel the weight, have the body understand that we're progressing higher and higher, but not to the point in which we're going to burn overall energy that we're gonna get from the working sets. I've seen some people like, they'll just do sets of 20 as they go up, and they're actually tiring themselves up on the warm up. So we're not using our weight belt yet because it's not heavy enough weight to put any excess stress on our lower back. But on our working sets, we'll add the weight belt, keep our lower back supported. That's it for the warm-up sets. Now we're gonna move to the working sets. Now, you might say to yourself, man, that's not a ton of weight. Last week, we did, I think, sets of 12 with about this on. This week, we're gonna do sets of like 14 to 18 with 2 plates. So, yes, I probably could do more, but we're still 2 weeks into our off season. The idea when it comes to rebounding from a show or rebounding from a diet is to progressively add more of kind of everything and not just jump right into it. I could eat more at every single meal, but my body's already putting on size. So that's what you need to kind of balance right now as you're rebounding from a show or rebounding from a diet, is that you need to progressively do more in a slow manner. Now, obviously, if you're flying through the reps, you gotta add more. But if it's pushing you and you're getting a burn, you're getting a mind-muscle connection, get as most out of it, okay? If your calories have slightly increased and your weight's going up on a regular basis, don't just force feed yourself more and more food. You're not gonna put on good muscle tissue. You're gonna probably put on a lot of body fat. So same thing here. You wanna just focus on getting a great workout, preserving your knees, your back, and understanding too, for me, my legs is not an area in which I need to make huge progress. I need to put more focus on my upper body. So when you're trying to make areas improve, you also need to realize that if I put so much emphasis on my leg day, I'm gonna suffer on my improvements that I'm able to make on my upper body, because your central nervous system and your body can only make so much improvements. As we said last week, as an older trainer, been doing this for a really long time, it does take a little bit longer for my body to kind of get up and running. What we're gonna do is stay at 14, jump to maybe 15 or 16 on the next couple sets, and hopefully that continues to warm me up, and then we're able to get all the way to 18 on the 4th set. So So the next exercise is going to be the Smith machine squat with a wide stance, okay? What we also have is a bench here so that I can sit, and for me, with the lower back issues, it's always reverting out of the hole, okay? So the reversing of the momentum is where I have issues. So I wanna still go deep, which I'll be able to do with this low bench right here, but it takes a little bit of the stress off from reverting the momentum. You'll see that I'm able to kind of really lower the weight in a slow and controlled manner. I might use my weight belt with it. We're just gonna figure out how I feel, but we're gonna warm up on this exercise because it is different than the hack squat. So. So we're putting on the weight belt. Shameless plug, we have our new Alpha Sups weightlifting belts on our sites, alphasups.com. You can go and get yours there. We have all sizes, small, I think to XL, maybe double XL. I'm a large. And then we got our new blue Alpha Sups tees. As I mentioned, shameless plug, but we only make the best for the best, and then check out our supplements as well. So it felt good. One of the benefits of a weight belt is that it gives you more stability in your core. You want to have a strong core. The difference between having the 45 and the 25 on there and then putting the 245s, I felt actually stronger with more weight because I had that extra stability from the weight belt. Keeps the stability in my upper body and my lower back so that I can focus on my legs. So the squat is a great exercise, but if you don't have a strong core, your upper body is not tight, you're gonna have issues. So one, gotta make sure your core is strengthened, your lower back is strengthened, but also adding yourself things like a weight belt help. It's also why I have my knee sleeves. Having knee sleeves keeps the stability of my knees so I can focus on these quads and pushing with my quads. So, I know you guys heard the broken record of I've had lower back issues, but one of the things that I did over my entire prep, and I've continued to do that throughout my off season so far, and I'm gonna keep doing it, I'm not gonna stop, is doing the vacuum training every morning. So one of the things that I have put in a goal for myself is to continue with my cardio year round. But after I do my cardio, I spend about 10 minutes every day doing vacuum training, where I suck in my core, hold for 15 seconds, breathe out, and contract my abs. I repeat that process 15 seconds with each, 10 to 12 times, every morning. So we're moving on to the last exercise for quads, which is gonna be the adduction machine. We're gonna do the inner thighs. Okay, you heard it, last exercise. So you're gonna say to yourself, man, like, why'd you only do 3 exercises for quads? It's a big muscle group. As I mentioned earlier, I am not focusing on growing my quads as much as I'm focusing on my legs overall, as I am focusing on my upper body. So normally I do 4 exercises for about 4 sets each for my upper body exercises. Now, with my legs today, it's structured at 3 exercises. The first we did four sets. This one we're only gonna do 2, okay? So you need to bring the volume down on some of the muscle groups that you're not going to look at focusing on. That doesn't mean you don't bring good intensity, but you gotta bring the volume down. You can't make improvements everywhere once you get to a certain level of experience. Now, if you're a brand new trainer, you're not working on one particular area. Your overall body is just gonna transform, okay? Yes, you might wanna focus on building up this, and this, but ultimately, your entire body is gonna transform just because it's a brand new stimulus. Someone that's more experienced needs to increase the volume on the areas that they need to improve and decrease the volume on the areas that are good to maintain and slowly grow. So, we're gonna move on to this machine. We got 2 sets. We're gonna warm up and we're gonna jump in. We're gonna do 1 warm-up set and then jump in. Hands here, just like as we did last week. We're not gonna be pressing ourselves. Now maybe on the last few reps, if we need to help ourselves out, we can do that. But we don't push on our legs when we do the leg press, squats, any of that shit. We work the muscle at hand. Go through that range of motion, nice and slow. Negative. Good. Gonna get about, lost fucking count, so I don't know where we're at, but I feel good. So the next exercise we're gonna do is dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts. Now, this exercise is probably the only exercise today that we're gonna be doing 10 to 14 reps. okay? Just because it's a free weight exercise that also utilizes a lot of lower back engagement, and I have, as I mentioned, some lower back issues. So doing higher reps with this can be a little bit compromising with your lower back, as it might take over and have some issues. So I've talked with coach, and he likes to do these in a moderate rep range, 10 to 14. We're gonna start out with a really light weight because we're going into this, getting those started. We're gonna do 4 sets of warm-ups, just like we do when we did our quads. The first set, it's a brand new exercise. Even though legs are warm, hamstrings are not 100% engaged. 4 sets of warm-ups moved into 4 sets of stiff-legged deadlifts with the dumbbells. We're gonna use a weight belt on each of the weights because we're gonna be bending over on all of them. And I also like to use lifting straps just so that my forearms don't come into engagement. I just lock it in and I'm ready to go. So let's go. When you put the effort into it, and I'm really excited about doing something like that because I put the effort into the vacuum training, and you really don't understand how much of an issue things like putting on my shoes, picking up stuff off the ground, picking up my kids, little things, okay? Picking up your kids. I remember with my daughter, she's 7 now, a lot damn heavier, but picking her out of the crib was very hard. I would have to breathe in, hold, tense my entire body, and I was 230 pounds, and it was just that much pain that I was having in my lower back because I heard it and I wasn't doing things to strengthen it. So now that I've done that right there is like a win because I don't even feel that weight. Now I'm slowly gonna progress up to something a little bit heavier, but I can already see the huge improvements. But it took me doing something each and every day to make those improvements. It's not just gonna happen overnight. It's not just gonna happen by doing once or twice. I did vacuum training for 4 to 5 months. And now, things that used to be super uncomfortable are easy. I don't feel my lower back doing anything anymore, which is awesome and a huge win. So whatever it is that you need to do, implement it and realize you're gonna have to implement it day in and day out to get those improvements. I would say for this exercise, I don't know if I'm going probably about 70%, just because I've made an increase in weight. So I think last week we did about 3 sets with the 50s. We moved up to 55s. Obviously this week being a whole week of increased weight, feeling better, stronger. You know, the 50s were pretty easy. We made the jump to the 60s. You know, I just don't want to push it. This is an exercise that, bro, from one thing to the next, you can hurt your back. And I got to be very careful, you know? We got to be smart. So I'm definitely leaving reps in the tank, but using more weight, okay? Because with 50, I'd just be flying through it. It'd be too easy, way too easy. Strength overall is there. But with the 60s, it's challenging. And at about 10 reps, I kind of cap it off. So we're gonna do 4 sets, 10 reps. So the second exercise that we're gonna do here is the single leg standing hamstring curl, okay? It's kind of like a concentration curl for our biceps, but we're gonna be working the hamstring. We're gonna do obviously one leg at a time. We're gonna start with our right leg, and let's go right into it. Just gonna feel the weight. I think this is probably a good amount of weight because we used this last week. Squeeze, I wanna get a hold, come down. That's very important when you're doing these exercises that are single leg, as I mentioned before, especially high rep, single side, single leg. is that you're gonna do a lot of reps, okay? Because to finish one set, you're gonna basically have to do twice the reps that you would do when you do both sides. So this is gonna lean more towards you rushing through the sets. It's not what we're here for. We're here to work. Whatever reps you're doing, slow and controlled. This is really an isolation exercise. There's not a lot of extra muscles that are utilized in it, so you don't need a huge amount of rest. Also, you're alternating from one side to the other. So this side that went first has already got a break. So we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so this is the last set. And this is what's gonna happen when you start new programs, is that you might not know exactly the weights that you're going to be able to use in the beginning. So I started with 30 pounds, did 18. 35, I did 18. I did 40, I did 18. We're all the way to 45 pounds on the last set, and you know, we'll see what we can get done. But on our next time that we do YT3 2 training, we're gonna make sure that we start with a heavier weight, like 45, okay? But that's gonna happen. You know, when you first start a program, you're not gonna know exactly the weight that you need to use specifically for the rep range that you're gonna be in. But it's great for beginners to write these things down, because they're not as in tune with their body to know that, and they don't, sometimes they get, you know, they forget things. So I'll know for the future that I can push myself a little bit more on the weight to start, and we'll be good to go. Last set, 14 to 18. There you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So last exercise for today is the lying leg curl. And as with the quads, we're only gonna be doing 3 exercises today, okay? 4 sets on the first 2 exercises, so the stiff-legged deadlift, as well as the single leg curl. We're gonna work into 2 working sets of the lying leg curl, okay? Finishing with this, we're gonna get the warm-up sets, maybe 1 or 2 warm-up sets to figure out where we're at. And then we're gonna rock it, 14 to 18 reps, 2 sets, finish this baby off strong. I can tell there's not gonna be a huge increase in weight. I think the last workout, if I remember correctly, we started with the lying leg curl. So, and obviously with week 1 training, our rep range is in the 10 to 14 rep range. So those are things, you know, that when you're kind of figuring out what weight you should use, it's a lot of variables. So I advise a lot of people when they get going that they write some of these things down, okay? When you're more in tune with your body and you've been doing it for a really long time, you can kind of go off of intuition. But when you're a beginner, it's very important to write these things down so that you're not guessing and not wasting a lot of time and energy. Okay, we're gonna do 1 more warm-up set. I'm gonna kind of feel what this feels like. And we either might jump 5 pounds or 5 kilograms or 10 kilograms, we'll see. Let's go. So that's it, leg workout in the books. Week 2 of our off season, week 2 of YT3 training. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have any questions, please put your comments below. Please subscribe to my channel. We're trying to build this out, trying to get you content each and every week. Let's get it, let's go, boom.